Y'all, this one is tough. This one is so tough for me. I really put off making this review. I really didn't even want to upload this video. But there's just something that we gotta address about the Longines Legend Diver 42mm. If you're new around here, I'm Marcus EDC and welcome to the channel. I invite you to like, subscribe, leave a comment below. What do you think about the Longines Legend Diver overall? My overall opinion is I gotta get the smaller sizes in hand because realistically, this is not something that I would EDC. This is not something I would add to my collection. And that's unfortunate because this is a watch that I really, really like aesthetically. This is something when I see it on wrists, I envy. When I see it on Instagram, I like every single picture that I see of it. The blue one is incredible. The black one is classic. But there's a fatal flaw that has to be addressed when we talk about EDC and when we talk about practicality. That's what this channel is about. This channel I wanted to create for my interests, for my hobbies, but realistically, this is EDC. This is what I walk out of the house with. This is what I want to wear on an everyday basis. So what I got on my wrist today is, of course, the Manta Ocean King. External rotating bezel, classic design. But man, when we're talking about the Longines Legend Diver, this is an aesthetically pleasing watch that I've had my eye on, that I even thought about getting over the Manta Ocean King when I was, debating between how to spend that much money on a watch. That's not something I do lightly. That's not something a lot of people do lightly. YouTube and Instagram will have you skewed. There's a lot of people spending tens and thousands of dollars on their watch collection, and that's just not the everyday person. And, shout out to you if you worked hard or, you grew your business or you did whatever you did to get to that point in your life where you could do that, shout out to you. But most people, when you gotta spend, or not when you gotta spend, when you want to spend $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 on a watch, it's one of those things you really gotta think about. So I thought about this long and hard, and the Longines Legend Diver is an amazing watch. I don't want to deter anybody from buying this watch. This watch is absolutely incredible. Nothing about the quality or craftsmanship of this watch should be a turnoff. That is one thing where Longines, I'm not going to complain about. Quality, craftsmanship on a different level. It is incredible to wear. And, it's just a good quality watch. I mean, the power reserve is a little lower than I'd like. I don't know the exact specs, If you know me, I'm not going to sit here and give you every single spec. I know this is a 42mm watch. This is probably a little bit bigger than I would typically go for in my collection, which is one reason why it will probably never see my watch box, is that size. Look at them lugs. Them lugs are screaming. So maybe if I get the 39mm in-house, that might be something I like a little bit more. But the fatal flaw that we have to address with the Longines Legend Diver is that internal rotating bezel. It is so clean. It's a good design. It looks good. Everybody that I showed this watch to was like, hey, look at this watch I got in for review. They loved it. They were like, man, that thing looks good. I mean, I can't lie. I love that watch. That's a good look. But go ahead and let me time something. Let me just go ahead and unscrew the crown real quick. Not real quick. Oh. Go ahead and wind it all the way over to where the minute hand is. And we'll go ahead and push it back and screw it in. Now, to the layman, that might not seem like much. And realistically, I feel crazy even complaining about it. But to me, it goes against every natural instinct that I have with watches. My natural instinct is to take the entire watch off and be here and wind it, right? Just like I did at the beginning of the video. Unscrew the crown, wind the watch, push in, screw it back down. Now with the internal rotating bezel, it's the same type of mechanism. But for me, when I have a diver, what this is for is just timing things in a convenient fashion. Like, y'all saw my review of the Manta and I was timing it, or I was using it to time my espresso pulls. I want to time that 25 to 35 seconds that it takes to pull that espresso shot. And with this, I feel like I'm losing precious seconds unscrewing and winding this crown, pushing it in and out. And let me tell you, it's a good design. It looks good. It walks that line between casual and dressy very, very well. One thing I will say is that I think I prefer this as a casual watch. When I wore it dressed up, I felt a little bit out of place. It wasn't all the way out of place, but I just felt like something like the Manta with the bracelet and, you know, a little bit more of the polished aspects of it felt a little bit better dressed up as a sports watch than something like the Longines Legend Diver. Even on the strap, I felt like this was more of a casual watch. I felt better in this one in jeans and a t-shirt than I did in my slacks and my collared shirts. So take with that and do what you will, but realistically, outside of the watch world, if you're wearing a real watch and you're not wearing an Apple Watch or a smartwatch, you're already ahead of the game. So realistically, this can fit you in most situations, if not all situations. I do like this watch, man. Whenever I see people wear it, it just gives that sort of vintage, classic vibe that, like, I don't know, I like the 12, the 9, the 6. It looks good, classic vibes, and it just screams sophistication. It screams like, you know, I don't care what other people think. This is my watch. This is a laid back vibe. I could wear it to the beach. I could wear it to the office. This is a good one watch. If you love this design, I would not deter you from buying this at all. If you are over the top about the design and you don't mind the crown for the internal rotating bezel, because my biggest gripe with it was hitting my wrist bone. I wear my watch above, meaning towards my body, above my wrist bone. I see some people wear their watches down here, and that is just not my thing. I don't think it looks good. I don't think it feels good. I want to wear my watch firm but not tight, right above my wrist bone right here. So when I go to use the crown, like I said, it goes against every natural instinct that I have, because I don't wind my watch on my wrist. I take it off. You got to unscrew the crown, and now you can rotate that bezel. But man, like, hitting my wrist bone right there is one thing that I don't like. So now it's screwed down, right? So screwing down, I feel like, is easier than unscrewing. I go to unscrew it, and I feel like I'm fighting with my wrist bone right there to get that unscrewed. And now I got to go rotate to get right where I want to be. And yeah, that might not be a big deal to some people. If you can deal with that, if that's something that you're okay with, then by all means. This is an incredible watch from a craftsmanship and a quality standpoint. I can't argue with that. I can't be mad at that. But just to me, the functionality and the EDC type of use for it, I much prefer the classic diver with the external rotating bezel. So for me, when I'm cooking or pulling my espresso shot or going on my lunch break or doing whatever, I'd much rather sit here and go, cool, now I'm on the minute hand, and I know that I need 20 minutes until the thing needs to be pulled out of the oven. So there you go. When I'm at 20, there it is. Whereas with this, the Longines Legend Diver, I feel so first world problem complaining about this. But it's just one of those things when it comes to EDC, if you're like me, everything's got to be perfect. It's got to be the same every time. It's got to be functional. It's got to be practical. And it's just got to be a part of your daily life to where it can be easy to, see, I'm even having trouble here. I would have already been done setting the timer with an external rotating bezel. And now I can go back to what I'm doing. So again, this is a durable watch. It's a quality watch. I like the aesthetics. I like everything about wearing this. Honestly, I thought the lugs screaming the way that they do was going to throw me off a little bit, because aesthetically, I don't like it. Aesthetically, I don't like the way the lugs are screaming way away from the case. I feel like the lugs are too long for what it is, but at least on this type of strap, it's comfortable. I like it. It feels good. I never had a problem with it being too big or too wide. My only problem was with that internal rotating bezel. So as far as wear, if you're concerned with it being too big, I've got about 6 3/4, 6.5 inch wrist. This feels good. Like, it is a good fit. Like, I do have to go pretty tight, like almost all the way to the last one to get a good fit. But realistically, I wore this a couple days to the office and it felt good. I never had a problem with it being too big or too chunky on my wrist. So if you're worried about that, I would say that's not an issue up to a 6.5 inch wrist. If you're smaller than that, definitely go for the 39. I even think personally myself, I would go for the 39, but realistically the 42, it's a good look, man. I ain't gonna lie, look at the way that looks. Fits well on the wrist, looks good. Like I said, every single person I showed it to was like, man, that is a good look. My one other gripe with it was the lines on the 6 and the 9. You can see under the 9, it's got a little line right there showing you that it's the 9, and the 6 has a line on top to show you that it's the 6. Probably could have done without that because I know where the 6 and the 9 are on the watch. But other than that, if you're going for a vintage look 2-crown dive watch, man, this is a good look. If you're looking for style or fashion purposes, this is a very good look. If you're looking for EDC, if you're looking for practicality, if you're looking for the easiest way to set the time when you're cooking or whatever, this is not it. But if you're looking to go out for a nice dinner, a nice brunch, wedding, and you just want to wear something that's fashionable and like it's got a classic look to it, very vintage, very sophisticated, this is the watch for you, man. Shout out to my homie Gabe at GVB Horology. I'll drop his Instagram, I'll drop everything here. He let me borrow this watch, so shout out to Gabe. You know, here we're talking about watches, and he let me cop this. I let him cop the Chris Reeves Sebenza to check out for a little bit, and we did a little trade. So Gabe, if you're seeing this, I'm about to send your watch back. I appreciate you letting me check this out. I really enjoyed wearing this, man. I really don't like that I had such a big gripe with the crown, because outside of that, it is such a good watch. But I feel like that is something that the YouTube reviews don't tell you. And I feel like people who just get this watch in and they're like, oh yeah, it's so great, it looks good, all the specs are good, everything about it so quality, go get it. And people don't address actually using it in real life. So that's just kind of what I wanted to bring to you guys today, is kind of just my opinion on that. I'm sorry I haven't put out a video in a couple weeks, and I was low-key putting this one off because it's something that I thought about, and I really respect YouTubers for giving their honest opinion and for not being shills to brands. And I love Longines. I love most of the stuff they put out, but it's just one of those things where this watch isn't for me. And also, like most people out there, I'm not a collector, I'm an enthusiast. You know, I only got 2 watches that I rotate between, and lately it's been the Manta Ocean King that has been taking most of my wrist time. So realistically, I feel like I'm a 1 to 3, maybe 4 or 5 watch guy. And, you know, being into this for a couple years and being very tame with my purchases, I feel like I've gotten away from the collecting aspect and I'm more on the EDC practicality aspect of it. So yes, I do want a dress watch that maybe I'll pull out only a couple times a year, but it's got to be functional. You know, maybe I don't want a moon phase perpetual calendar type thing right away in my collection, because I can't just pick that up and, you know, wear it to a wedding without having to set everything, because I don't want to have a watch where the date's not correct, the moon phase isn't correct, the second time zone isn't correct. Everything's got to be set for me. I'm very practical, so I can't just throw a watch on with the wrong time and go about my day. I'll feel so weird about that. So to me, the Longines Legend Diver will probably, and definitely actually, will not make its way into my collection or my rotation. But to be honest, it's a great great watch. The quality, the craftsmanship, everything about it is awesome, but I just can't personally live with that internal rotating bezel and trying to actually time things in my real life. So I appreciate you guys. If you're sticking all the way through to the end, I invite you to like, subscribe, and comment. Let me know what you EDC for your every single day watch and why. Is it because it's practical? Is it because the fashion is there? Is it because it just fits your lifestyle the best? What do you wear on your wrist every single day? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.